Russian Garin UAVs struck another Ukrainian train today. Russia is striking various locations in Ukraine with Garin attacks every day. Attacks on power plants have resulted in large-scale power outages in Ukraine. The Ukrainian train in the Sumy region was hit as a result of intense attacks. People in the area recorded the train derailing and catching fire. I believe the train was carrying important equipment for Ukrainian forces. There are not many details in the current news reports. The Russian Jaran attack on the train has been objectively verified. As a result of precise calculations by Russian intelligence, Russian Jaran drone operators successfully carried out the attack.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
As usual, the Ukrainian air defense system failed to shoot down the Russian UAVs, and the train was destroyed as a result of the attack. Russian UAV attacks are increasing day by day. These attacks help Russian soldiers advance more safely and quickly on the front lines. Russian infantry and armored units, working in tandem with drone operators, are quickly capturing Ukrainian positions. Russian reconnaissance drone operators uncovered a position that HIMARS had concealed. This is in the Kharkiv region. In recent days, Russian positions had been heavily targeted by HIMARS attacks. Finally, the operators uncovered that hidden position. Then, without wasting any time, the coordinates were precisely calculated and transmitted to the Iskander-M missile system. The enemy lost 3 pieces of equipment worth millions of dollars in a single strike. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Unique footage of the destruction of a Ukrainian PTM-3 equipped with a magnetic sensor. The mine was laid using the Baba Yaga mine-laying system. The federal commander's crew destroyed the mine by remotely firing light weapons at it.
Все, хорош.
A Ukrainian BMP was destroyed in the Stefov region. The armored vehicle first hit a Russian anti-tank mine. Then the propeller of a drone lying in wait on the road activated, and the first drone attack took place. Meanwhile, another Russian drone was waiting in ambush on the road. The second drone attack also took place, and the armored vehicle sustained significant damage. The crew abandoned the armored vehicle. A Ukrainian BMP was destroyed in the Stepov region of the Dnipropetrovsk region. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, UAV teams belonging to the Novorossiysk Guards Mountain Airborne Corps, part of the Dnipro units, attacked and destroyed an enemy armored vehicle and its crew moving close to the contact line using FPV UAVs controlled via fiber optic communication lines unaffected by the enemy's electronic warfare systems. The combat operations of FPV UAV operators simplify the tasks of airborne assault groups, contributing to the active advance of units and the capture of more advantageous positions and lines. The Ukrainian armed forces' counterattack failed. The Ukrainian forces' attempt to recapture the positions they lost in the Verbove region ended in complete failure. Russian drones detected enemy attack groups from the air in time, and then UAV operators carried out precision strikes. The Ukrainian armed forces were forced to retreat deep into the Dnipropetrovsk region. They were completely inadequate to counter the Russian attack. The Vostok group continues to advance, securing the area. This time, the Russian Air Force carried out 4 airstrikes on the Ukrainian Armed Forces 116th Brigade in the town of Kupiansk. UMPK Fab 250 bombs were used in the attacks. The Kreshet UAV Defense Unit continues to hunt down enemy UAVs over the Sumy and Kursk regions. Ukrainian UAV operators are using aircraft-type UAVs to repel Russian attacks and strike positions. However, these newly deployed UAVs are encountering Russian attack drones in the air and are being shot down by Russian UAVs. Today, a large number of Ukrainian UAVs were shot down in the air. While the ground war continues, the drone war in the air is also ongoing. Russian tank crews attack Ukrainian armed forces positions near the settlement of Chasiv Yar. The group of 4 tanks disperses when they get close to the settlement, and a few of them advance towards the settlement center, while others go to the forest belt. All positions were destroyed. Zaporizhzhia direction, Lobkovoy village. After active offensive actions and a series of activities in the airspace, the paratroopers of the 247th Regiment took control of this settlement. East of Pokrovsk, Krasnoarmysk. Tarasovka. The Ukrainian armed forces occupied the building and barricaded the holes in the wall. Russian drone operators are trying to penetrate the barricades and enter the building, but each time Ukrainian soldiers re-barricade the holes, preventing the drones from entering. As a result of the accurate strikes of the drones, large holes appeared in the building, and it was no longer possible to close them with barricades. Russian drones managed to get inside. In the same direction, a Russian soldier fired a kolobok at a building housing Ukrainian armed forces personnel. Kupiansk direction. Russian FPV drone operators placed a piece of wood in front of a Ukrainian armed forces drone in order to shoot it down in mid-air. In this way, both the body of their drone was not damaged, and they managed to break the wings of the drone they wanted to shoot down. Every day we see new images of drones fighting in the air. Sometimes we see drones being armed with single-bullet guns. How else do you think drones can be armed? The Ukrainian Armed Forces UAV Control Center was detected near Novosergeyevka. First, the personnel inside the control center were hit, and then the UAV control antennas were hit. The sudden appearance of drones on the battlefield and their small size seemed to make the work of the soldiers in the war a little difficult. If you destroy one drone, a second one can appear immediately. Cheap, powerful, and very fast weapons of war. Footage of how the village of Pyatikhatki, Zaporizhzhia direction, was liberated. Novorossiysk paratroopers destroyed the basements of the Ukrainian armed forces. Then they hit every point where the infantry changed positions. The Ukrainian force constantly changed positions but could not escape the drones. Then a group of Russian forces organized operations against the houses where the Ukrainian forces were located. The air and ground operations were successful, and the security of the region was ensured. The position of a group of Ukrainian armed forces hiding in a bunker on the western outskirts of Popovka was detected. 2 Russian soldiers came extremely close to the bunker and threw grenades into the bunker at close range. Then they opened fire from small arms into the bunker. Bombers of the 11th Guards Air Force and Air Defense Army of the Vostok Group struck the FAB-500 against Ukrainian positions near the village of Sevchenko. UAV operators of the 35th United Armed Forces Army of the Vostok Group destroyed 3 vehicles of the infantry of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. It looks like the infantry will have to walk. Information was received about a mobile group of Ukrainians on motorcycles operating near Ivanopol. Drone operators chased the motorcyclists. As a result, one of them lost his motorcycle and managed to hide in the bushes. The other motorcyclist was not so lucky. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. The 5th Brigade's reconnaissance detected the movement of a Ukrainian forces BMP-3 near Balakan. The coordinates were transferred to the Rubicon calculations. The BMP was intercepted in the first sortie and burned in subsequent sorties. The footage shows the arrival of LMUR's airborne air defense system and the 102nd UAV near the village of Servanohirka. Footage showing the bridge area between Pokrovsk and Mirnorada turning into a graveyard of Ukrainian armed forces equipment. The video shows a large number of Ukrainian pickup trucks and armored vehicles destroyed by the Russian army. Footage has emerged of Russian armed forces troops moving south of Krasnoarmysk. The footage shows Russian troops moving smoothly through residential areas, which may indicate that there are no Ukrainian armed forces in the area. FPV UAV operators of the 51st Guards Army's 80 Sparta Orb on the outskirts of the village of Dimitrov found and destroyed the UAV control center of the 3rd Assault Battalion of the 92nd Independent Assault Brigade of the AFU, with the help of a kamikaze UAV. Ukrainian forces' UAV operators tried to escape, but Russian FPV UAVs destroyed the building where their UAV control center was located. In the Sumy region, Ukrainian forces tried to move an assault group with mobile equipment towards the Russian state border. The target entered the reconnaissance UAV lens, and FPV UAV operators of the 810th Separate Guard Regiment of the Zhukov Marine Brigade destroyed the Ukrainian ATV. The artillery of the Southern Forces Group destroyed the bridge and manpower of a group of Ukrainian armed forces infantrymen in the village of Ivanopil. This is how the precision artillery strikes were reflected on the objective camera. Donetsk. An American-made M109 Paladin self-propelled gun was discovered near the village of Myrnohrad. The weapon was destroyed by several FPV UAVs from the Rubicon Center.